I am really, really sorry about that. I don't know what is going on with my camera. My phone, I think I'm going to have to be getting a new one because that was ridiculous. All of a sudden, the screen got fuzzy, and I didn't want to continue on. If it was going to be fuzzy like that, I would rather start a new part two and then hopefully come over from that. So I hope that you come back and you join me. Let me finish this because I still want to show you guys how the Archival Ink and Stazon stamp on these images so you can compare and contrast and just see what you guys want. I'm going to have to flip the camera around. It's not, oh, maybe it will let me flip my screen. Yay, let's see here. Okay, there we go. So let's just go back to where we were, and which was, we're making a comparison that this just didn't work so great on this. So I want to go ahead and do it on the purple one right now and see how that works. All right, so from here, I'm just gonna ink this bad boy up really well. And again, I'm gonna use that white bookmarker substrate to transfer the lift from. The great thing about this not being a sponsored post is I have no filter, so I'm really telling you kind of what I feel about this because I can. Ranger didn't pay me. Stazon didn't pay me. Nobody's paying me to do this. Part of the reason why I like to do more solo stuff is because I don't like to be an infomercial, and sometimes, crafty YouTubers kind of turn into that. All right, so that was, and this one, yeah, this one not so much. Nothing. Didn't come up at all. So let's see if it has any ink for this side. And there is, it lifted a little, but not much. Okay. So I don't know what to think about this alcohol lift ink. Last night when I was playing with it, I had some beautiful results. I mean, I was able to make this gorgeous card out of it with the pretty chain coming through and this lovely image. And today it worked great on this image, so I'm happy about that, but not so much on really anything else. But when you lift the ink and you transfer it over, it does the blues, the darker the color, the better the transfer. That's what I'm noticing. So moving on from the alcohol ink lift pad, let's go ahead and I want to stamp out for you some images. I'm going to stamp this image right here, which is by Viva Las Vegas. It is the background stamp that I did here. I want to stamp this for you with the Stazon in black, and then also my Archival ink in black, just so you can see the similarities and differences. Though I'm looking for my black Stazon. I thought I had it out, but I don't. I have green and midnight blue. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. Cloudy sky, red. Dun, dun, dun. Do I not have a black Stazon? Maybe I don't. Okay, so we're gonna do it in, let's do it in claret, in the red. Actually, let's do it in midnight blue. And then with my Archival ink, I will stamp it out. I'll do it in the Dusty Concord, which is purple on my purple one, and then the midnight blue on my blue one. And again, I'm going to be using the pad that I made sticky, and it doesn't fit, which is just fine. It's totally cool. So I'm not gonna do anything. I might do something with this in a minute, but we're gonna just work on these backgrounds. So I first want to put down some Dusty Concord, which is the purple. And so let's do that first. I'm going to use it on the foam mat again. And this is the Archival. And then we'll compare it with the Stazon. Okay. All right, so here's the Archival. Lay this out, and I have to say those lids don't go on very easily. I'm gonna lay that a little higher so I can do a sentiment down below. And let's just see how this works. Okay, so I got a really pretty good image on that. That's pretty. So that worked really well. Now this isn't completely dry yet because remember, this is a slick surface. So I don't want to touch it much right now. I'm going to move on and I'm going to apply my Midnight Blue Stazon to this one, the mirrored one I did up in blues. Before I do that though, I do want to remove this ink, and I am using my Stazon cleaner because I know that it works. And I'm actually, once I get this pretty much rubbed off, I'm going to be spraying some water on it as well to make sure I get all the cleaner off. That's kind of something kind of smart to do if you're wanting to use the stamp again with just a different product or a different color. Run it over with some water just to kind of rinse it. Because the Stazon, this cleaner I've discovered is a little bit oily, which is okay. All right, so let's go ahead and put down some of our Midnight Blue. So of course, since the pad is bigger, it's going to disperse quickly and easier than the smaller pad. And I just want to put that, I'm going to rotate this and then just put it up a little bit higher. There we go. Nice, good coverage. Since I'm working on a slick surface, I want to make sure that I don't move it or else it'll slide and not give me a crisp image. And that also worked really well. You can't really see the image in it because of the background, but it's pretty cool. Let me do it also on this one with this Stazon so you can see the image a little bit better. And then I want to go ahead and show you how I did the edges on the other card. So I'm going to use the other substrate that we worked on today that didn't take to the alcohol lift ink very well. All right, so for this one, the background on this, there's not a lot of breakup on it, so it should work really nicely. Yep. So the Stazon ink works well. I'll hit it with a heat gun in a minute and we'll try to run our finger over it. But again, that's the Dusty Concord. That's the Archival Dusty, the Midnight Blue Stazon. All right, so one more thing I want to do with you is this one right here. I want to go ahead and just put down this guy on here. And I'm going to use espresso on this. And then right here in the center, pop it on. Okay, then on the edges, what you can do is you can take your Distress Collage Medium in Vintage and you can just run whatever color you want around the edges just to give it more of that rustic feel to it. So I'm just gonna really rub that all over. And again, this is a vintage photo, so it's not coming through super dark and obnoxious. And then I'm just going to take my finger and apply a little bit of this to the edges. And by doing it like this, my ink is still wet, so it's still going to move it around and it's still going to give that vintage feel to the edges. Now you do want to wash your hands relatively quickly after you do this technique, because you know it is almost like it's a medium, it's a glue. All right, and then you will end up, as it dries, with something like this. So that's super cool. I'm really loving how this one turned out. So let me go ahead and just heat this with a heat gun. We'll take a swipe at it and then we will move on with our day. All right, so let's just see. Yep, that didn't come up, and that is the Dusty Concord Archival Ink. And that's the Stazon Midnight Blue. It's not smudging. So I think that you can use both inks, whatever you have on hand, whatever is easier for you. I think that you can use them on anything, which is a really great way to stretch your craft supplies and not get bogged down. All right, guys, thank you so much for sticking with me today. Again, I'm Bets Golden. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. And also, I'd so appreciate it if you would share this video, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave me any comments or questions down below. Until next time.